Hi guys, Julie the Oracle here. Oh my goodness, what a Christmas. um, so at the timing of this video, it's around Christmas time, just after Christmas that this will be posted. And I just want to say that, wow, I mean, I've been getting a lot more comments and a lot more likes and definitely more subscriptions from you all. And I just want to say I'm very grateful to you all. Thank you for the support. It is very deeply appreciated. I love interacting with everybody, so I will try and get back to you if I can. I know at some point when I get so many people, I won't be able to keep up with everybody, so forgive me there, but I definitely want you to know that if you tune in and you're hearing this, any message that I say to you is for you. So, just about it. And again, when it comes to the actual readings, please take what resonates and leave the rest. You know what your situation is, and if you trust your instincts, aka your intuition, then you know exactly what messages are for you and which ones are not. So just have faith in it. And here we go. It's exciting. We're heading towards the new year, so I'm definitely going to have I will post a New Year's reading. If you have any ideas or you want to suggest a reading to me, by all means, I am open. I love a good challenge, and I would love to try to do a different reading and see what the cards have to say. And I will pull out some more interesting, I'm going to pull out some more interesting spreads. I found some recently that I really like. And so I guess I'm going to have to look it up because I record these on my phone right now. And right now the images that I have of my spreads are on my phone. So I'm going to try to look at those overnight. And, the next one I do may be a spread about just like a weekly check-in. But we can make it a monthly if you would like. I may go ahead and look at it that way. You could always change a spread. So I do appreciate all the support for this YouTube, and anybody who has at least gone and checked out my Etsy or TikTok or Instagram, any of that, then I appreciate that. I mainly keep my readings here, the long ones. I do post the shorts also on TikTok because I don't have more than 10 minutes there, but I may try to do something extra there when I can. I mean, it keeps me pretty busy, but I love it, and I love and appreciate you all. So thank you, thank you, thank you. Much, much appreciated. So today, I ended up pulling out, well, I forgot the card that came out. So I was just shuffling my anime cards here today, and I had one fly out that prompted me to think about what kind of creative endeavors would you be doing here at the end of this year, like into the new year. And this, for those of you tuning in, may be for my creative types. Now, when I think creative, people think art, but I want you to know this could be anything you do creatively. Like it could be artistic, but it could be, hobbies that you have or projects you want to get done around the house, or, it just depends. It could have something to do with your careers or personal life or just something you enjoy doing. So it could cover anything. So whatever comes up, if I get any kind of names or symbols, I see, hear anything, I'm going to put it out there. As I say this, my ear is starting to ring. So I'm definitely getting some messages. So I will do my best. But there's more of you listening now, so I'm picking up a lot more stuff. So things are going to get more interesting. Because somebody had said on another YouTube that I follow that when you like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, that it's a form of energy transfer. And I do think that there's some truth to that. I found truth in that one once I subscribed and started liking and commenting. I'm like, ooh, they're speaking my language. So hopefully my messages will become clearer for you as well. With that said, what are the creative endeavors that you guys will be doing, into the new year? And this can be for anyone. It's gender fluid. It doesn't matter what you see on the card. It's kind of what I intuit off of it. So I'm going to sit here and have my glass of sparkling cider. If anyone loves the Martinellis, I love the Martinellis. It's the perfect time of year for this. And so I'm going to sip on this, and I'm just going to give you your reading. So today I pulled 3 cards, but I also felt compelled to look at the bottom of the deck today. Take a sip of that. Oh, it's so good. Like they say in Bridesmaids, she's like, damn, that's fresh. She probably says a bad word, but I won't say that here. YouTube's a little bit strict on that stuff, so we got to be careful. I try not to, but you know my inner effing pee stick. I call it that because I don't want to get anything removed. So bear with me on that. So I pulled them 3 main cards first. Creative endeavors. We got Queen of Wands, 7 of Wands, and the Hanged Man. I love the Wands because the Wands, the Wands are like fire, of the element fire. Those are for my fire signs, but they're also for people who are creatives, for people who are intuitive, people who are, I don't know if I can say inventious. I don't know if I want to say that, but you know, these are the people that are entrepreneurs, that create, that invent, that just do all kinds of really unique things. And so I just feel like Wands really represents those types of people out there. So it can represent any of you. It doesn't really matter what your star sign is, or sun sign, or moon sign, anything. I said star sign. I don't even know if I got that right. It's been a long day. So with Queen of Wands, the biggest thing I notice is there's red in all 3 cards. So I see that right now, you know, with it being holidays in this timeline, this can be a timeless video. So if you see it and you're like, oh, this was just after Christmas, ignore it. You might see this 3 years from now. Who knows? And it's still going to be for you. It won't matter when. But I want to say that the red represents for me, I think of the root chakra. And for me, that's grounding. And I feel like a lot of you are rooted there. I mean, red can be a color of love, but it can also be a color of anger, because look at this guy's face. So, I don't know. Some of you might be stressed out, frustrated. It's that time of year again. It's supposed to be a really happy, jolly time of year, but a lot of people can be humbugging around. So, and I get it. It can be very stressful, and, you know, there's just too much going on, and it's overstimulated. It makes sense. So some of you could be feeling that right now. I'm going to try to dive in more whenever I do this to sensing what different clairs that I'm feeling. Like, what am I feeling? What am I hearing? What am I seeing? What do I know? You know, those different things. If I smell or taste anything, which is rare, then I'll let you know. But it doesn't happen often. But sometimes I do. I'm more connected with people. Sometimes I do smell cologne like they're wearing, and they're not even here present with me. They're in another state or anywhere else. But it's just weird how I connect with people, and I can smell things that are paranormal in nature. So a lot of people, you know, many of you have probably had similar incidents in your life, because I do feel that a lot of my intuitives are watching today, because Wands can also represent those of you that really lean into your intuition. We also call it gut instinct. So with that in mind, the Queen of Wands is somebody that's very instinctual. She's very grounded, but look at her. Like, you guys are sitting there, you know, just straight face, very stoic. And she's got her wand, but there's some new ideas brewing on it. You know, you see these little leaves that are on her wands. That's new growth. We are always growing and progressing along our way, along our path, whether that's personal growth or you're growing in your career or in your creative endeavors, like as I've said before. So I do think that there are some new ideas brewing, and some of you might just suddenly you just had this sudden revelation, this aha moment, like, ooh, I need to do this. Like, there's a project that needs to get done, or, you know, you start finally like prioritizing and wanting to knock out some cleaning, or you want to suddenly decide that you want to start cooking and learning how to cook, or deciding to challenge yourself with these different projects you want to do. The same goes for my artists. Like, you're wanting to suddenly sing and dance and draw and paint. You might work with ceramics and clay. I mean, I don't care. I mean, you could do the modeling clay you buy from like the Walmart and Targets and the big box stores. You might buy the modeling clay and model it into something really cool, and then you bake it off to finish it. I used to do that when I was younger. I wish I could show you my little blowfish. I don't know where it went. But I had it, I created a little thing for it. Like, it almost looks like it should belong in a museum, but I handmade it, and I made it when I was younger, and it was so cute. I found little bits of wire that had different color and with the wire sticking out, and I trimmed them. So I cut them, and they made the spikes on the blowfish. It wasn't exact or anything, but I thought it was cute. But you can do really creative things with the smallest of things, even those paint by number kits, or like the stained glass looking things, or the plastic things that you take the paint and you color it in fill it in, and then you either, I don't know if you have to bake it or just let it set, but once it sets, then it's there forever, and you can just hang it, and it's like a sun catcher. I guess sun catcher is a better word, but they make different kinds. So they make wind chimes now, and you can color those in, because my niece got a wooden butterfly, and she can draw in it with markers. I don't know. I didn't even see her look at it. She was pulling stuff out so fast. She was looking for all those meows or afmals or whatever that is. And she loves like certain things like Gabby's dollhouse, and really into Gudetama. Gudetama? I don't know if I said that right, but does anybody know about this lazy egg Gudetama? It must be like a Japanese anime kind of thing. It's Asian culture, I think, but it's because it's like chopsticks picking up this little egg, and when he's lazy, he lays there and his little butt cheeks are showing. It's really funny and it's cute, but I hadn't even heard of this until a 7-year-old tells me. So there's all kinds of things out there. And you see how creative these things are when you think about it. Somebody created this Gabby's dollhouse with all these things. It becomes a TV show and kids go nuts over it. The same thing with like the lazy egg. Gudetama is this lazy egg, and he does different things, and they actually made a little remote control where he's driving around in bottom half of the egg that's cooked. That's kind of that's what she got for Christmas that Santa brought her. So I almost wish we could have put batteries in it and let her drive it around. So I don't know. I won't get to see it, but if she gets a chance to ever bring it over, I'll be like, bring it with you and next time, and we'll drive it around. It's so cute. But somebody created this stuff, and this is where us creative minds, we come in and we think about these things. That's a wand person right there, because they come up with the most interesting thing. Who would have thought of making a lazy fried egg, and the yolk is like the lazy egg. That's where his face is and his little butt cheeks are and legs or whatever, and then he's just in the middle of the white part of the egg, and it's just like, he's just lazy, and he's always doing stuff and saying stuff. They have all these little trinkets and toys and things related to Gudetama, even stickers. So it's super popular amongst children. It's interesting. The same goes with these afmals. And they're cats, but these cats are like different colors and different things. Like there's a whole set of them based on, cats being like a strawberry cat and a cinnamon roll cat, and now there's rainbow cats. She got glittery cats, and now they even have small ones and squishy ones, and they're like Cinnamon Cat is a little squishy toy that she has. It's handheld. The other ones were these two are like part of their crystal collection. One was Diamond Cat, and the other one ended up being a rainbow cat. So I don't know how that's crystal collection, but those are hard ones. And then they've got the plushies. It's strange how popular this stuff is. And all of this created by a wands person, different wands people creating these things, and they just become huge trends, and they blow up, and everybody wants it. And so I'm hoping that I and some of you can come up with something like that, because wouldn't that be amazing? I would love that. Being the creative mind behind something like that, I'd feel pretty accomplished. And so I wanted to say, like, that's what the Queen of Wands here is. And I love this purple, because this purple is like, you guys already have the knowing, you already get the image in your head. The ideas come to you in certain ways. Sometimes you hear it, sometimes you see the images in your head, and sometimes you just know. And when I say these ideas, I mean, these are the creative energy flowing through, and you have all these brilliant ideas and things. Not all of them come to pass, but, or, we get that brilliant idea and we're like, oh, that would be fantastic. Let me get to a place I can write that down. And by the time you get there to grab a pen and paper, you forget, and you're like, no, it's lost. And sometimes, you try to get it back and you just can't remember until it hits you later, if you're lucky at all. But there's obviously a bunch of new ideas. So you guys are in this creative flow coming into the new year. And then, like I said, this could be timeless. So it could be just some timing, like I don't want to say energy shift, but you could be coming into this space of like, oh, right now is a really good time for energy flow. And sometimes some people would say it has something to do with the new moon, the full moon, or any kind of special. I mean, January 1st is 1/1, which is also a portal. So the new year brings in a lot of new energy, new ideas, new beginnings. And it's just a time to like set your goals for the year and get going on it. And it's going to be a good thing. And I will try to do a 1/1 portal. And maybe my next couple of readings can be about what's coming in the new year. And I do want to, there's several things I want to do. So I'm going to have to get through all of it somehow. But I love the idea. I love the ideas of, this energy being in a good place. We're in a good place. The energy is a good place. It's like everything comes together in the perfect recipe for you to produce that baked good, quote unquote, because it's not going to be really baked, but unless you need to get baked in order to create or to have creative ideas come to you. Some people do. Some people, it helps. I personally, it's not for me, but I've tried it before, and all it does is make me eat and giggle, and I don't need to eat. I can giggle on my own plenty. So, yeah, enough about me. So yeah, on that one, I just like the Queen of Wands, like you guys are on top of it. You also have a lot of cat lovers out here. I just know the Queen of Wands usually has a cat, and cats do whatever they want. And so do artists in a way, a lot of us don't conform. We don't color in the lines, so to speak. We like to think outside the box. We like to do things that are unique, that are interesting, that make people go, So that's really loud. I hope you can't hear that. Sorry, we have an automated voice that comes on and tells us the weather that's set up in the garage. So sometimes you hear her come on and tell you what the time and temperature and all that is, or what the forecast is. Funny. It can scare you if you're not expecting a voice in the middle of the night, let me tell you. Luckily, we're in the afternoon, and so we're fine. But with the Queen of Wands, yes. You guys are very creative. You guys are just sitting there. It's like you're sitting there still in your stillness, and you don't even have to work at it. Like these, you have these great ideas, these artistic things are just coming to you, and you're just like, maybe I should do this or try that, or there's just so many things coming at you that you have options. Or like me, you whenever you get a creative idea, you kind of maybe jot it down in your phone, like make a list. I have Samsung, so I've got I have these notes, and I could just take notes on the phone really easy. I have a little stylus pen. I could take it out and take notes if I wanted to. Definitely write it down if you can. If you get a great idea, don't forget it. You might want to go back and revisit it and then kind of flesh out the idea and decide what you want to do. So the Queen of Wands, lots of energy here, lots of things that you're wanting to do. And I'm just getting a lot of you are you're kind of overwhelmed a little bit. There's so many ideas, but it's like, try to prioritize, focus on one at a time. That's why it's best to make a list, because she has all these little green leaves. These are all new ideas starting to grow on her wand. So definitely, if you can see that, and yeah, I see the cats down here are cute. I think that's part of it. Might be part of her throne, but it's still nice. I'm looking to see if there's anything else that really likes it, but this is somebody who knows exactly, they know that these ideas are more than just something that, you're not thinking of these just on your own necessarily. Sometimes Spirit brings us these ideas because they're trying to help us and guide us. Your guides, your angels, whatever it may be. If you're on a specific path and you're meant to do something unique in this life, they're going to show you the way. If this is part of your career path and you just know, this is what I'm meant to do. And then you're like, oh, I've got this brilliant idea. I'm meant to start my own business, or, I'm meant to create this beautiful piece of artwork that's going to be shown in a gallery someday. You just know. A lot of you have the knowing that this is what you're meant to do. And once you do it, it's going to lead to the next step and the next step. And you're just going to be making all this progress. And it's leading to success, my friends. That's what it's going to be. And then we have the Seven of Wands. Again, I'm getting the red background. Some of you may be frustrated and angry. I don't know. I'm getting that there's some blocks here. When I say blocks, I just mean mentally, writers get blocked, writers block. Well, I think artists get blocks too, and you get frustrated because you have an idea, but you get stuck on a part of it and you can't make any forward progress. And this makes a lot of sense with the Hanged Man over here. The Hanged Man is trying to get a different perspective, is trying to figure out what they can do to overcome this obstacle of this mental or emotional block or physical block or whatever it is that's preventing you from moving forward on your project. With the Seven of Wands, he's over here looking like he's about to whack somebody with that stick, but the Seven of Wands, people say it's defensiveness. Universally, Seven of Wands can be about standing your ground and being defensive. However, there's other ways to look at it. Some of it, I see that some of you are keeping your distance. you know, there's all these wands sticking up, but he's the only one holding one of them. I think he's kind of like, back away and get away from me, you know. And maybe you're somebody who's you're doing really well for yourself right now, or maybe you're just putting out this beautiful energy and you're attracting a lot of the opposite sex or something, and you're just like having to beat him off with a stick. That's kind of what I'm getting that for somebody. Like, oh my gosh, leave me alone. It's funny because when you start to focus on yourself and you start to focus on the things that you need to do in your life, you know, I'm going to focus on me and my career, or, you know, I have these goals I want to reach, so I'm not interested in dating right now. And then all of a sudden everybody wants to date you. I'm getting that for somebody. There might be more than one, but maybe a small portion of you are having to deal with that. I don't know. You're like, no, I'm on my spiritual journey. I'm not looking for anybody right now. Why is this happening? Just keep in mind, sometimes when you least expect it, that's usually when love finds you, is when you're not looking for it. When you're trying to focus on you and you start getting to that place where you're happy and you're independent and you're taking care of yourself and you're like, life's good, you know? That's just kind of the universe's way of saying, hey, you're finally doing what you need to do. You're ready. Here you go. Here's somebody that likes you. So don't be too harsh. I mean, if you're not ready, you're not ready. But if you find someone who you can't resist, then you might explore that, or let them know, like, I'm not really ready to date, but I'd like to be friends and get to know you a little bit. Just like, take it slow. Nothing wrong with that. But I also see with this guy with the stick, the Seven of Wands, like, with his wand, I also don't look at it as he's, you know, he has an angry look on his face, but I would say that I think that this also might be determination. He may be practicing. Some of you may have a hobby of like martial arts, or, you know, I used to have I can't find it, but it was like a practice bow staff. It was very bendable, so it wasn't like a real bow staff, but it was a practice one that was made out of a softer material. But I always wanted to learn how to use a bow staff, so it was kind of exciting. And I've probably mentioned this before, but I wanted to learn that. But also, I've taken Taekwondo, and if anybody's ever wanted to take like fencing or, you know, jousting or something, I just feel like some of you with those more active hobbies, that's what you're going to be doing in the new year. You're going to be focusing in on that. Some of you may be going into martial arts going, I want to go for that black belt, no matter what it is. I mean, and I don't know the differences between, like, you know, jujitsu and Taekwondo and karate and all of that. I just took Taekwondo. I only made it up to like the halfway between, like, from a white belt to like a yellow belt to like a white yellow belt. I can't remember. I only went up like 2. So that was only for a semester in when I was in college. I don't think I could do that with my back anymore. So whatever it is, it's a really great way for you to stay in shape, but it's also a lot of fun. Some people don't want to just work out at the gym all the time. Some people want to do something different. And it can be great exercise practicing. And I see this guy is practicing with these sticks. So you might be like play fighting practice. I'm getting LARPing for somebody. Somebody's LARPing out there. You know, you guys know what that. I can't remember what it stands for, but it's basically, you know, like the Renaissance fair where people actually take on the roles of the king and the queen and the knight and the jousters and all of that, and the jesters. And you have the bards running around like playing their instruments and singing songs and telling stories. And I feel like LARPing is that's at least what I remember knowing about it, is that people like doing this, but they actually go and act it out together. And it's like, you know, when you're kids and you're pretending to play like at a tea set and you're like, come have tea with me, and you're having tea with your best friend, you know, next door, like 2 little kids and then like 2 little girls, and like having it, they have all their stuffed animals. It's just weird. Like, I don't know. I never really did that. I played with like Thundercat stuff, so that's me. I played with Thundercats and I played with Barbies and I mixed them. It's so funny I did. You know, but I always was like entertaining myself when I was younger. I also really loved Hot Wheels. You know, I loved putting the tracks together, and like I would make a long track from the table to the bar, the kitchen, and I would like run the car over it. And I had the airplanes that change color, so I was always amusing myself. I was a little bit like, I was a girly girl, but I was also a tomboy. I was somewhere in between. I never was one or the other. It was just somewhere in between. but I loved playing with that stuff, and it kept me busy for hours, like doing Legos and things like that. So I can see that some of you might be wanting to get back in touch with your inner child. This is a great way to do it, by the way. Getting in touch with your inner child, finding those things that just brought you straight up joy when you were a kid, when you were, you were free, and you didn't have so many things holding you back. You didn't have to adult. You didn't have to worry about, working and paying the bills and, am I going to keep a roof over my head and food in my stuff? You didn't worry about that. When you were a kid, hopefully most of you didn't have to worry about that. I do know in some cases, and I'm sorry if you did, if you weren't in a household where, you felt safe in those things. You should be safe and secure in your household. And if you weren't, I apologize. I am sorry that you had to go through that. But, and I know that everybody's different. So I truly hope, though, that, for some of you, this might be why you have to go back into your childhood. You need to go back and find that place where it was safe to be a kid, where you found joy, and tap into that joy, where you were carefree and you had no worries. That's something that you need to do when you start doing this stuff. So this could be about athletics. This could be about hobbies, LARPing. I don't know why that comes to me, but it just does. So I'm hoping it means something to some of you. Let me know if it does, or if it's something that you like doing. I also mentioned the Renaissance Fair. Who doesn't love that? There's some people that are all about that. If you're a fanatic, let me know. And I love the crystals that you can get at that fair too. They have the greatest stuff, like the metal smithing. I think that is so cool. I bought a beautiful, like, I don't know if it's pewter or pooter. Pewter. I know you guys are laughing right now. A pewter necklace. I hope I said that right. But I love the metal smithing and the stuff that they do. It's just really unique. And the necklace I got was it was alien in nature. They had all these different ones representing a lot of different spiritual, metaphysical, and paranormal things. And I just thought it was so cool. I had to have it. I don't get an alien necklace very often, but the starseed in me wants that. Let's see. But yes, I see. And some of you have the knowing too. You know this is what you want to do. He's wearing a purple belt. That purple is all about, like, that you guys can see, in your third eye, your ajna, whatever you want to call it. You have the ability to see forward and, like, know that these really awesome things are coming, that you want to do these things. You just have this knowing that you're supposed to. If you're called towards something, go ahead and walk towards it. Go to it. Try it. Have fun with it. Whatever it is, it's meant for you. That's the best thing that I can tell you. Because the hangman over here, some of you are trying to deal with blocks right now, and I just want you to know, yeah, you're trying to get that other perspective. That's great. I also see, like, I know most of us here, this is adults. There shouldn't be any children here necessarily. But I know if you want to get in touch with your inner child, this guy reminds me of that kid that was hangs off the monkey bars, like on the playground, where he's hanging there upside down and, like, look what I could do. And he's got the one leg there. Hopefully it doesn't drop. So be careful if you do this stuff. Like, it's like, do not try this at home. But if you're an adult and you make that decision, that's your decision. By all means, have fun. Just don't hurt yourself. But I feel like you might want to go to a playground, and I can almost see some of you going and, like, swinging. I still like to swing. I mean, as an adult, I don't even know if my butt would fit in the swing, but if I could swing on a swing set again, you bet I would. That was some of the best times, just swinging, because it was kind of like a ride for me. It's like it takes you off the ground and you feel, that's as close as you feel to flying again. Otherwise, you just had the little jungle gyms, or they always had that wooden thing they built. I don't know what you're going to call it, but, like, sometimes it could look like a little pirate ship, or it'd have, like, you could climb one side, a rope side, and then there would be stairs on another and a slide going down. Like, I always pretended that was, like, my ship, and it's like the floor is lava, like, kind of thing, except the floor was all water. So if the ground was all water, then I had to stay on my ship and be a pirate or whatever. I was a very imaginative kid. So I think these cards are telling you, coming into the new year, you really got to tap into that inner child in order to do some of these unique projects you want to do. Even if it's cooking and cleaning, or you've got to tap into the inner child there. Tap into that carefree, no worry spirit, that youthfulness of where, like, I don't have to worry about this, but I'm just going to have fun with it. because this is what opens up the energy that allows all these creative ideas to flow to you and through you, and you pick it up and run with it. So I really feel like the Hangman is telling you to unblock, find ways to unblock, and you can do that singing and dancing and listening to music by itself. Just listening to your favorite music is fine. But you can also draw, you can paint, you can sculpt. Sometimes just turning on music and cleaning to it. Like, I don't care if you're doing the dishes or folding laundry, but if you're doing stuff, watch some old movies, something that brings back, watch some Goonies, and I watch Christmas Vacation again. It's like a yearly thing for me. And it always brings back to those feel-good moments, and it's very funny. But I get the same thing if I watch Goonies. It's like, wow, it reminds me of my childhood all over again. Same if I watch, like, Who Framed Roger Rabbit and all of that stuff. So, like, tap into that. Definitely tap into that. And sometimes just playing a game on the computer, on your phone, or even if you have a gaming system. I got a Switch I got to get back to because I really love Skyrim. I don't know if I got any gamers out here that love it, but I love Skyrim. And, back when I was with my last ex, which has been years now, I was playing all the time and I had it really built up well, but unfortunately that wasn't mine. So he got to take that PS3 at the time. And so I just lost all my progress. But I got a Switch and I got a Skyrim on that, so now I get to play. I haven't gotten very far because now I'm an adult and I'm adulting, but you know what? I'm thinking like, the holidays are kind of coming to a close, and maybe when I have just a free day where I don't have anything else to do, I would like to sit down and just play for a few hours, I think it raises my vibrations. I think it's a good way to tap into your childhood, but it's also a good way to release, like, any stress, frustrations, like, go hack up that dragon, kill the bad guys, kill the, what are they, trolls or whatever they might be, goblins and things. There's different ones, when you're in that game, if you end up going down and having to go into these places, like, you got to kill them off. And man, it was a struggle for me, like, trying to do all that. So I'm going to have to go back and do it all again. But it's definitely a great way to just release all that tension that you have. Like, you want to punch somebody. No, but we don't do that. We're good people in life. But that's what video games allow us to do. I will never agree with anybody who said video games cause violence, because it's ridiculous. Video games are the outlet, people. They're the outlet. And that's the truest thing. Even when I played Grand Theft Auto, like, I was never good at the actual game. I just like to free ride around and run over people sometimes. Like, I would never do this in real life, but in there, like, when, and they made those people especially mouthy and rude to you, so you had no problem running them down or, robbing them or whatever you're going to do. It's an outlet. I would say, these are things you don't try in real life, but most people know that and are aware of that. But I do think it's an outlet, and I think playing games, for those of you, if you're a gamer, like, go play some game. Find some free time to play your game. If you haven't played in a while, like, maybe it's time to get a gaming system. And if you're not into, like, those role-playing games or hack and slash, that kind, I think, like, the Wii U, if it's still around, I don't know, they went to Switch, and so they keep coming out with all these new things, so I'm a little bit behind. But if they have a new gaming device where you can play, like, whatever the Nintendo has now, I loved the idea of, like, the Kinect and stuff like that, where you could just play, like, I don't know if it was volleyball or what it was, like ping pong or something. They had you playing bowling and stuff on there, like Mario Kart and stuff like that. Those were fun games. The one, like the bowling game, that was fun. You just had to make sure you have the wrist thing on, or you slung it and you broke your TV. Didn't have that happen, but a lot of people did. Just make sure you don't do overuse with your wrist and your elbows and arms, because you will end up getting tennis elbow or golf elbow or something. It does happen quite a bit. So, there's always a balance to everything. With that said, I don't know, what came out, and I pulled the Sun as the card on the bottom of the deck. And this is basically your happy card, like the key to success. I always think this looks like a key. But the key to, the key to opening up and these ideas and energy and all of that is to basically go tap into your childhood by raising your vibrations. And there's a multitude of ways you can even write and journal and stuff. That's always a good way to do that. Write poetry, write music, play an instrument. There's so many things you can do. And for those of you that don't want to do any of that, take a walk. walking helps my energy flow, but it helps my thoughts flow too. And when it does, I get some of my best ideas that way. So go ahead and take that walk. 30 minutes is all you need. You can go walk longer than that if you feel you need to, but just taking a simple walk could just unlock so much. And so the sun just tells me that it's going to make you happy. Your inner child will be happy, and then you're going to be happy because, you've used this key to unlock, all these great ideas, and you're able to prioritize and focus on exactly what you want to do with whatever this project is. So you want to remodel your house or rearrange the garage or, take those cooking lessons all the way over here to you want to make a bunch of paintings to put in a gallery for a show or do photographs or anything you want. By all means, do it. I have some Oracle card for you, and I want to get that in. I'm trying not to go as long, but I know I've talked a lot because I missed you guys and I wanted to talk. So here we go. We have the Ascendant Oracle. It has share wisdom. With this, I get that some of you may be teachers. Share your wisdom. And even if you're not an actual teacher, I feel like everybody's learned something in life that you've learned how to do something that you could teach someone else. And I kind of feel like this is where, you're rooted in the knowledge of whatever this is. For me, it's a bunch of different things. I am a pastry chef. I'm a trained, certified pastry chef. I love to, and I'm rooted in that. And I'm found myself wanting to teach others how to make recipes. Or, and I don't have my own necessarily, but it is kind of making me want to make my own. It's I almost want to make my own book, my recipe book, but that takes a lot of time. And it could take a year. Who knows? But with this, I can at least teach people the basics of, cooking pastries or making ice cream or, I was just telling people about how to make cream puffs the other day, and they're very tricky. It's very tricky. There's so many problems that can go wrong with cream puffs, but also that can go wrong with creme brulee. And those are two of my favorites, and I love them. And if they come out so good. So this is where I'm sharing the wisdom on that. And I will, I'm also educated, at least I've minored in meteorology and some emergency management type stuff. So when it comes to disasters, I tell people if you see something, say something. And my bachelor's was in natural disaster preparedness with a minor in meteorology, to be exact. So living here in Oklahoma where we have tornadoes and things like that, I've seen a lot. So I like to help people stay prepared. And I'm like the lookout. If I know it's coming, I'll tell people, hey, got a chance for severe weather today. You might want to batten down the hatches and have your, an extra bag of clothes and toiletries to go in case something happens. Because if you're left with nothing, you at least want to have that. And that might include your medications and anything that you need, like a CPAP machine, or if you need oxygen, you want to make sure you keep those things on you. So I'm all about the preparedness. I can kind of teach people about that a little bit. I can do plenty when it comes to the weather. And I know a little bit, I own a cat, so I can talk about cats more than dogs, but I can talk about both. I actually have experience with working at a dog daycare, so there is experience there with being able to, pack mentality and things like that. There's a lot, but there's a lot others can teach me on that too. So sometimes I look to others to teach me. And let's see, what else do I know? Just little things. It doesn't even have to be anything big either. I worked at a Kroger store once, and a King Soopers, to be exact, up in Denver, and I learned a lot about cheese. Okay, this is gonna sound funny. I learned how to cut the cheese, and I think that's funny. There's so many jokes, haha. But we would take these giant cheese wheels, and I actually learned how to cut into them, and there's specific ways you had to cut the harder cheeses versus slicing into a brie. And we would slice and wrap them individually and get them, labels on them and get them priced and get them out. And I also did a lot of sampling. And I've learned a lot of interesting thing about how cheeses are made. And, if the cow's at higher altitude and eats a lot of that natural grass, and then you can tell the color of the dairy products in there, the milk and stuff that comes out in the cheese. It makes the cheese a little bit different shaded, more orangey, yellowish. Sometimes it's got the more creaminess to it. So there's a lot of different things. So I try to kind of rely on that. So I could tell people some things about cheese. And what I don't know, I'll just Google it, I'll look up the information and do the research if I need to. So this is just saying, be a teacher. Be a teacher, even if you aren't an actual teacher. If you are, that's great. We love you. Like, thank you for what you do. But there are a lot of different types of teachers out there. And I think that even if you're not an official teacher, everybody has something that you can teach. So please share your wisdom with others. Find a way to do that. I just feel like in the new year, this is going to be something that is needed. I don't know why, but just do it. Just do it, like Nike says. For your Moonology card, you have Blue Moon, Believe in the Impossible. I love that. So even if it feels like, oh my gosh, this is a big project I'm undertaking, this is impossible, don't say it. Never say never. That's something I've learned in the past year and a half. And I will say, believe in the impossible. Yes, you can do it. You can make it happen. It's just going to take a little bit more time and prep. Then your angel guides, they're saying, raise your vibration. We talked about that already. So there's a multitude of things you can do to raise your vibration. And even if you don't want to do all that stuff that's active, then just sit in stillness and meditate. Because meditation can come in a lot of different ways. Some people need to draw or paint or be doing something. You know, you can doodle while you are meditating. Like, there's even a form of meditation when you're thinking about things in the shower. Apparently, shower thoughts are a form of meditation. There's a lot of different forms. Walking is a form of meditation. So just find what works best for you and raise that vibration in whatever makes you happy. Your color card is mauve. Number 43, enjoy clear hearing. So 7 is a number of reflection. I always stick with that. Kind of reflecting back on this past year and, you know, what is it that you want to accomplish in the new year? Like, think about what you want to do with this project and give yourself a timeline. And, you know, do you want it to last long? Does it need to last a long time? Is it something you can do fairly quickly? You know, how do you want to accomplish it? And then get her done. And when it says enjoy clear hearing, I always see that some of you might be getting messages from Spirit like you're meant to do a certain something, and like whatever the project or the hobbies or the career, whatever it is that you're meant to do, like you're getting messages on that. And those messages might be something you audibly hear, or it's kind of like something you hear in your head, whether you're getting that like in like silent, where you can actually read numbers and letters and things like that in your head. I mean, we say we hear it, but we don't actually hear it. It's hard to describe. Clairaudience is a fun one. So it's hard to describe, but just pay attention to what you're hearing. Like if you sit in stillness and you're hearing or getting an idea about something, that's a message for you. And lastly, surf the serenity, inner effing peace deck here. Don't just do something, sit there. And that's that. You want to take action, and sometimes taking action is doing nothing at all. Sit there and meditate. Listen to a guided meditation or meditative music, and you can do this for 10 minutes or you can do this for an hour. It doesn't matter. However long that it takes you to just find yourself relaxed and pacing your breathing, and when you find that you're finally getting the messages or the energy flow, then you're ready. But I hope this was helpful for all those fun things you're going to be doing into the new year. So I'm pretty excited for all of you. All right, until next time, guys. Bye.